Welcome to New York City, a place where art, culture, and dreams collide. In the heart of Manhattan stands a museum that celebrates the voices and visions of American artists. The Whitney Museum of American Art. It's more than a collection of paintings. It's a living story of America, told through creativity and courage. The Whitney Museum of American Art stands proudly in the heart of Manhattan's Meatpacking District, one of New York City's most dynamic and evolving neighborhoods. Once an area known for its industrial warehouses and cobblestone streets, it has transformed into a cultural hotspot filled with designer boutiques, art galleries, and open-air cafes. As you approach the museum, you can feel the rhythm of the city around you, the hum of conversation, the sound of footsteps along the High Line, and the distant echoes of the Hudson River flowing quietly nearby. The building itself is a stunning work of art, designed by the world-renowned Italian architect Renzo. Its bold, asymmetrical shape immediately catches your eye. Steel beams and large glass panels rise gracefully toward the sky, blending strength with transparency, a perfect reflection of New York's creative energy. From the outside, the Whitney feels alive. Its open terraces spill outward, offering sweeping views of the skyline, the High Line Park below, and the shimmering waters of the Hudson. As the sun moves across the sky, light dances off the building's surfaces, casting gentle reflections that shift with every passing hour. Step closer, and you'll notice how thoughtfully the museum connects with its surroundings. The street-level entrance welcomes visitors with wide, open spaces, a design meant to invite, not intimidate. It feels less like entering a traditional museum and more like joining a creative conversation that never ends. Inside, the architecture continues to breathe. Every gallery is filled with natural light that pours through the glass walls, illuminating paintings and sculptures with a soft, ever-changing glow. The spaces are calm and contemplative, yet alive with the spirit of innovation. Standing on one of the terraces, you can look out across Manhattan, the bustling streets below, the High Line stretching into the distance, and the river reflecting the golden hues of sunset. It's a view that reminds you exactly where you are, in a city that never stops creating, dreaming, and evolving. The Whitney isn't just placed in New York City, it feels like it belongs to it. A perfect harmony of art, architecture, and atmosphere, capturing the heartbeat of American creativity in one extraordinary location. The story of the Whitney Museum of American Art begins with one extraordinary woman, Gertrude Vanderbilt Whitney, a sculptor, art patron, and visionary. Gertrude was born into one of America's most prominent families, yet she chose a different path, one not defined by wealth or society, but by creativity and purpose. In the early 1900s, the American art world was dominated by European influence. French impressionists and Italian masters filled the galleries, while American artists struggled to find recognition in their own homeland. Gertrude saw this imbalance, and she felt it deeply. She believed that American artists had their own powerful stories to tell, stories rooted in the land, the people, and the dreams of a young and changing nation. So, in 1930, she decided to take a bold step. She founded a museum that would be dedicated entirely to living American artists, a space where new ideas could flourish and where creativity would have no limits. Her mission was revolutionary for its time. While others collected the past, Gertrude focused on the present, on the raw emotion, experimentation, and innovation of the artists around her. She opened the doors of her own studio in Greenwich Village, transforming it into a place of opportunity, conversation, and artistic freedom. The first Whitney Museum was small, intimate, and filled with passion. Every wall and corner reflected Gertrude's belief that art was not just decoration, it was a dialogue, a heartbeat of the American spirit. She personally supported struggling artists, buying their works when no one else would, and giving them a platform to share their voices with the world. Over the years, her vision grew into something extraordinary, a museum that became the beating heart of American art. The Whitney Museum of American Art is not only home to masterpieces, it is a masterpiece itself. Designed by the world-renowned Italian architect Renzo, the building embodies the same creativity, boldness, and individuality that defines the art it shelters within. When you first see the Whitney, it doesn't resemble a traditional museum. It rises from the edge of Manhattan's Meatpacking District like a sculpture of glass and steel, asymmetrical, layered, and full of surprises. From every angle, the building tells a different story, a dialogue between structure and space, city and sky, art and life. Renzo's vision was to create a museum that breathes with its He designed it as a living building, one that opens itself to the city rather than closing it out. The result is a structure that feels both monumental and human, modern, yet warmly connected to New York's historic industrial roots. The facade is a blend of blue-gray steel panels, reflecting the tones of the river and the shifting city light. Its vast glass windows bring sunlight deep into the galleries, creating ever-changing shadows and highlights as if the building itself were painting with light. One of the most striking features of the Whitney is its series of outdoor terraces. Each level extends outward, inviting visitors to step outside and view the art of the city itself. From these open platforms, you can look down at the High Line. Watch the Hudson River glisten in the distance, and see the Manhattan skyline unfold like a living canvas. Inside, the design continues to surprise. The galleries are vast and flexible, allowing curators to reinvent spaces for each new exhibition. Tall ceilings, wooden floors, and exposed beams maintain a sense of openness, a nod to the industrial past of the neighborhood. Renzo once said that he wanted the Whitney to feel like a workshop, not a temple, and that's exactly what it is, a place where art is alive, where creativity isn't worshipped from afar but experienced up close, in motion, in light, in space. As you walk through its halls, you feel the architecture guiding you, not demanding your attention, but gently leading your eyes toward discovery. Every corner, every staircase, every shaft of light is carefully designed to make you see art and the world. From a new perspective, the Whitney Museum's architecture is more than a building. It's a bridge between the artist and the audience, between the calm of reflection and the chaos of the city that surrounds it. It reminds us that art isn't confined to walls. It flows, breathes, and lives wherever creativity dares to exist. Inside the Whitney Museum of American Art lies a treasure trove of creativity, a living archive of more than 25,000 works that capture the heart, struggle, and imagination of the United States. Every floor, every wall, every carefully curated room tells a story of a nation discovering itself through art. The collection spans over a century of American creativity, from the early 1900s to the bold experiments of today's contemporary visionaries. It's not limited by style or fame, it's defined by authenticity, courage, and expression. Here, you'll find the haunting beauty of Edward Hopper, whose quiet city scenes and lonely streets reflect the stillness of modern life. His masterpiece Early Sunday Morning stands as one of the museum's most beloved works, a portrait of ordinary America, painted with extraordinary sensitivity. Nearby, the vibrant forms of Georgia O'Keeffe burst from the canvas, her flowers, bones, and landscapes turning the familiar into the deeply symbolic. Her work speaks not only of nature but of strength, independence, and emotion. The Whitney is also home to the bold colors and moving shapes of Alexander Calder, whose kinetic sculptures sway gently in the air, reminding visitors that even metal can dance when touched by imagination. And then there's Andy Warhol, the pop art pioneer who captured the soul of American consumer culture through his iconic images of Marilyn Monroe and Campbell's soup cans. His art blurs the line between fame and reality, a mirror reflecting the obsessions of modern America. But beyond these famous names lies the Whitney's true magic. Its dedication to emerging artists and experimental voices. The museum's curators continuously seek out the new, the daring, the different. They give space to artists who challenge conventions, question identity, and explore what it truly means to be American in every era. From painting and sculpture to video, photography, and digital installations, the Whitney's collection evolves with time, capturing the pulse of each generation as it rises and changes. Walking through its galleries feels like moving through the pages of a living history book, each artwork a reflection of its moment, each piece an echo of the nation's evolving spirit. The Whitney doesn't just preserve art, it preserves the heartbeat of American creativity, bold, restless, diverse, and endlessly alive. Among the many treasures within the Whitney Museum, certain works stand out not just for their beauty, but for the way they capture the essence of America itself. These are the masterpieces that define eras, challenge perception, and reveal the complex layers of the American experience. Let's begin with Edward Hopper's Early Sunday Morning. Painted in 1930, it's one of the most recognizable and cherished works in the museum's collection. At first glance, it seems simple, a quiet row of red brick buildings bathed in morning light. But linger for a moment, and you'll feel the stillness, the emptiness, the subtle loneliness that whispers beneath the surface of American life. Hopper's art speaks softly, yet it echoes deeply, reminding us that beauty can exist even in silence. Then there's Georgia O'Keeffe, whose paintings burst with energy and emotion. Her close-up views of flowers and bones transform the natural world into something almost spiritual. Each curve and color draws you closer, not just to the image itself, but to the strength and independence behind it. O'Keeffe painted not what she saw, but what she felt, and in doing so, she gave American art a new, fearless voice. The playful genius of Alexander Calder adds movement to the Whitney's still spaces. His hanging mobiles, light, colorful, and constantly shifting, turn the air itself into part of the artwork. Each piece dances with gravity, responding to the faintest breath of wind. They remind us that art isn't always static. Sometimes it's alive and breathing with us. And of course, Andy Warhol, the artist who redefined fame and culture. His bold portraits of Marilyn Monroe, his endless repetitions of consumer goods, they capture a world obsessed with image and identity. Warhol blurred the line between art and celebrity, forcing us to ask what it really means to be original in an age of mass production. Beyond these legends, the Whitney's walls are filled with masterpieces by Jasper Johns, Jackson Pollock, Helen Jean-Michel Basquiat, and Roy Lichtenstein. each one a storyteller, using form and color to express the chaos and beauty of their time. Together, these works form a vast mosaic, a visual history of the American imagination. They remind us that art is not just a reflection of the world around us, but a force that shapes how we see it. Walking among these masterpieces, you don't just witness history, you feel it, alive in every brushstroke, every shadow, every burst of color. The Whitney Museum doesn't simply display these icons, it honors them as milestones of creativity, courage, and the ever-evolving story of America. Every 2 years, the Whitney Museum of American Art comes alive in a new and extraordinary way. It becomes more than a museum, it becomes a stage for the present moment. This is the Whitney Biennial, one of the most important and influential exhibitions in the world of contemporary art. Since its beginning in the Biennial has been the heartbeat of American creativity, a mirror reflecting the nation's culture, conflicts, and conversations through art. It's where the boldest voices of each generation are heard for the first time, where boundaries are broken, ideas collide, and the definition of art is constantly rewritten. The Biennial is not about perfection or tradition. It's about experimentation, risk, and relevance. Each edition brings together dozens of artists, painters, sculptors, filmmakers, photographers, and performers, each one exploring what it means to live and create in America right now. As you walk through the exhibition, you'll notice that no two biennials are the same. Some years feel vibrant and hopeful, filled with color, movement, and optimism. Other years feel raw, emotional, and political, addressing themes of identity, technology, race, climate, and social change. The Whitney Biennial doesn't shy away from controversy. It invites it, because art, after all, is not meant to comfort, it's meant to challenge. It's a space where questions matter more than answers, and where artists dare to confront the realities shaping modern America. Many of today's most celebrated contemporary artists, from Jeff Koons to Jean-Michel Basquiat, Cindy Sherman, and Kara Walker, first gained recognition through the Whitney Biennial. It has become a launching pad for innovation, a testing ground for the future of American art. During the Biennial, the museum itself transforms. The galleries buzz with conversation. Visitors move between floors in awe and curiosity, and every wall hums with the energy of discovery. Standing in the midst of it, you can feel the creative pulse of a nation, the excitement, the tension, the imagination of artists who dare to speak through their work. The Whitney Biennial is not just an exhibition, it's a living dialogue between art and society, a reminder that creativity has the power to reflect, question, and reshape the world we live in. The Whitney Museum of American Art is more than a place to look at paintings. It's a living, breathing space built on connection, conversation, and community. From the moment you step inside, you realize it's not just about art hanging on walls. It's about the people who bring that art to life. The Whitney has always believed that creativity belongs to everyone. That belief started with Gertrude Vanderbilt Whitney, who wanted art to be accessible, not exclusive, a shared experience that could inspire, educate, and unite. Today, that vision continues. The museum hosts an incredible variety of public programs, workshops, and educational events designed to engage people of all ages and backgrounds. Children sketch beside the sculptures, students explore how art connects to history, and adults gather for talks that dive deep into the meaning of modern expression. You'll often see artists working directly with the community, creating murals, interactive installations, and participatory art pieces that spill out beyond the museum's walls and into the streets of New York. The Whitney doesn't separate art from life, it invites life into art. Its Artport initiative, for example, explores digital and online creativity, showing that art doesn't stop at canvas and clay, it evolves with technology, reaching people across the world. There's also a strong focus on diversity and inclusion, celebrating artists from underrepresented groups whose voices have too often been overlooked in mainstream narratives, from Indigenous and African American creators to LGBTQ+ and immigrant artists. The Whitney gives space to those who challenge and expand what American art can be. The museum's open studio programs allow families and young creators to experiment freely, painting, building, and imagining without boundaries. In those rooms, the next generation of artists takes shape, inspired by the masterpieces surrounding them. Even the architecture encourages community. The terraces and open spaces invite visitors to rest, talk, and reflect together. You can stand under the New York sky, look out over the Hudson River, and feel the heartbeat of the city while discussing the meaning of a painting or sculpture. In every corner, there's a sense of belonging, a reminder that art isn't just something to look at, it's something to share, to feel, and to create together. The Whitney's greatest masterpiece may not be a single painting or sculpture, but the living community it continues to inspire. Stepping into the Whitney Museum of American Art is not just a visit, it's a journey through the landscapes of imagination, through decades of creativity that shaped the identity of a nation. From the very first moment you walk through its glass doors, you feel the harmony between the museum's architecture and its art. Soft daylight floods the spacious lobby, and the quiet hum of voices echoes against the steel and wood around you. There's no rush here, time seems to slow, as if the world outside New York's busy streets fades into the background. As you move through each gallery, the experience feels organic. Open spaces flow seamlessly into one another, allowing every visitor to create their own path of discovery. Some pause in silence before a single painting, while others wander freely, letting curiosity be their guide. Each floor offers something unique. The lower levels often host bold contemporary installations, pieces that surprise, provoke, and invite you to think differently. Higher up, you'll find modernist masterpieces, works that define American art's evolution from realism to abstraction. And then there are the terraces, the museum's breathtaking outdoor platforms that open to the city itself. Step outside, and the view steals your breath away. To your left, the High Line stretches across the skyline like a ribbon of green and steel. Ahead, the Hudson River shimmers under the sunlight, its calm waters contrasting with the motion of the city below. On the horizon, the towers of Manhattan rise, a living reminder of the energy that fuels the art within these walls. Every corner of the Whitney is designed to make you feel part of something larger. Whether you're standing before a Hopper painting, watching a digital art installation flicker to life, or simply resting on a bench as light filters through the windows, there's a sense of dialogue between you and the art. Even the sounds around you tell a story. The soft creak of wooden floors beneath your steps, the quiet murmur of other visitors, the distant hum of the city outside, it all blends together into a rhythm uniquely Whitney. For many, visiting the museum becomes a deeply personal experience. It's not just about seeing art, it's about feeling it. The Whitney invites you to reflect on who we are, what we value, and how creativity continues to shape our lives. As you exit the museum, the sunlight hits your face once again. You look back at the striking structure of glass and metal and realize that you're leaving with more than memories. You're carrying stories, emotions, and inspiration, the kind that stays long after you've gone. The Whitney Museum offers not just an exhibition, but an experience, intimate, powerful, and unforgettable. As the day fades and the sun dips low over the Hudson River, the Whitney Museum of American Art glows softly against the evening sky. Its glass panels shimmer with the reflections of the city, a living symbol of the bond between art and life, past and present. Inside, the galleries grow quieter. The crowds thin, the footsteps slow, and the artwork seems to breathe in the stillness of twilight. You can feel the spirit of creativity lingering in the air, the echoes of a century's worth of stories told through color, form, and imagination. The Whitney is more than a museum. It's a conversation between artists and audiences, between the America of yesterday and the one we're still creating today. It celebrates freedom, individuality, and the courage to see the world differently. From Gertrude Vanderbilt, Whitney's bold vision in 1932, the innovative voices of the present, the museum stands as a testament to the power of expression, proof that art can move hearts, challenge minds, and change perspectives. Every painting, every sculpture, every digital piece inside these walls is a reflection of America itself, diverse, complex, and ever. The Whitney reminds us that art isn't just a record of history, it is history, unfolding in real time. Standing on the terrace one last time, you look out across New York City, the skyline glowing, the river stretching endlessly into the distance. And in that quiet moment, you understand what makes this place so special. The Whitney doesn't just show art, it captures the soul of creativity, the beating heart of a nation built on imagination and possibility. So when you leave, you don't simply walk away. You carry something with you, a spark of inspiration, a renewed sense of wonder, and a deeper appreciation for the stories that art continues to tell. This is the Whitney Museum of American Art, where past and present meet, where every work of art is a voice, and where the spirit of American creativity will live forever. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the Whitney Museum of American Art. This is Lost Era, where we travel through the world's greatest museums and uncover the timeless stories behind their masterpieces. If you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more journeys through art, culture, and history.